What's going on, everyone? Talon here, and as you can see we have a uniform sale going on right now. So I was about to pick up a few uniforms when I decided let's turn this into a short video here. I can kind of give my thoughts on what uniforms I think stand out above the others and are ones that you should probably pick up if you haven't already, or if you use that character at all would be a good investment. So let's go ahead and take a look here on let's see. So here's the uniforms that I have. So out of these, I'll kind of list off the ones I think stand out above the others that are going to be good buys. So first of all, I see the Ghost Red uniform. The Ghost Red uniform is a nice uniform, his Inhuman one, because it gives him right here the 3 seconds all damage immunity on his getaway car skill, which really increases his survivability and is a very, very powerful uniform, especially for Shadowlands. And if you have Ghost Rider at tier 2, he's just going to do massive damage to the world bosses. So it is a good uniform to pick up for Ghost Rider. Besides that, I see the Unworthy Thor uniform, which is also, if you have Thor at tier 2, definitely going to be a must buy because it helps his survivability out quite a bit with that decrease all damage received by 15%. It changes around his skills a little bit, but nothing to really give him extra survivability. So it's mainly just a DPS increase. And then let's see, another one that sticks out here is Baby Groot. This uniform is actually really powerful just because of these skill changes. It gives him some iframes and then it gives him 2 heals. It changes, yeah, all of his skills. The uniform bonus itself are okay. The recovery rate is really nice just because he can heal up insane amounts of health because of the 2 heals that he has, so he's pretty much going to be at full health all the time. And then the dodge rate is nice to help him survive, but it's only 7%, so it's not really going to be that noticeable. So definitely a good uniform to pick up as well. Let's see here. Another one that sticks out is going to be probably, I would say the Destroyer uniform just because he's used so much in PvP, but pretty much only a must buy if you're going to be using him in PvP, just because he gets that extra damage boost and also because you get the all attack and all defense, so you're going to make him more tanky for PvP and Alliance Conquest and that kind of thing. But not necessarily if you're going to just be doing more like PvE content. I would not say it's a must buy then, but if you are going to be using him in PvP, then definitely want to pick up that uniform. Then we have over here Red Hulk. So Red Hulk's uniform, I think, is a straight up must buy tier 1 or tier 2, just because it makes Red Hulk really, really, really good. Because he gets that extra heal, so he's going to have 2 heals now because of the uniform. And then also he's going to have right here the immunity to damage for 3 seconds, so he's going to be really hard to kill. And these skill changes are just really nice as well. So overall, it's a very, very solid uniform and definitely a really good pickup. Besides that, I do like Captain Marvel's uniform is something to mention, but it's not going to be, like I said, a must pickup. I mainly dislike it because I enjoy using Captain Marvel, and that extra 3 seconds to the Radiant form just really helps to kind of cycle your skills together a little faster, because with her tier 2 you're going to be able to use her 4th skill to keep up that damage immunity at all times, but you're going to need the Radiant form to help boost that, so having that 3 seconds off is really nice. Besides that, of course, Doctor Strange is going to be a must buy if you haven't already got that uniform, just because of his utility. It gives him a heal, it gives him the debuff, it gives him all sorts of stuff, so it's really nice. And then we have over here Iron Fist. This is another standout uniform that is a must buy in my opinion as well if you're going to be using Iron Fist, because this uniform adds so much. So it has the same uniform bonus as his other uniforms, so you don't really have to worry about him losing that heal and invincibility. But then it also gives him a iframe, or at least I believe this is a partial iframe, because I know you can cast skills in between the animation of these skills, so it's not a full iframe because of that. But then you also get, where is it, right here, so you're going to be immune to damage for 3 seconds, but then also accumulates the damage as well to bump up your damage. So it's kind of like Sharon Rogers' 3rd skill, so it's really nice for cranking out even more DPS with Iron Fist, so definitely a very, very powerful uniform. Alright, and what else we got here? So, let's see what else stands out. Alright, I think the next one to look at is probably going to be Sif's uniform. I'm not going to say that it's a must-buy, but if you're going to use Sif at all, then I think it is a must-buy for her, just because this uniform is really powerful for Sif. Mainly, of course, from the skill changes, because that increase all speed by 10%. That's not really that useful. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but it could have been a lot better, or they could have gave her a lot better bonus for that. It's mainly the skill change, which is going to be for, I believe it's this skill right here, the Goddess of War. It adds the iframe, and then you get a nice stun on that. So that's the main thing that this uniform brings to the table, is going to be that stun and iframe. Yeah, so it makes Sif very, very useful for Shadowland. And then what else we got here? So we have Elsa's uniform, definitely going to be a must-buy as well. This uniform is really, really powerful. It just adds so much AoE to her skills that it helps with pretty much all game modes just because of that. And of course, she's going to do massive damage still on her 5th skill there. And now it's just going to be able to hit even more because of the AoE. She has the iframe on this, but that's not with the uniform. That's just one of her base reworks. That skill has the iframe. So that's pretty much all it changes. Of course, the bonus is pretty good as well because it is while attacking. The only complaint I have is it's a 10% chance. But the bonuses are pretty good. You get a decrease in skill cooldown, increase in all attack and all speed and crit rates. So definitely will pump up her DPS even more. Alright, and then let's see the next few uniforms we have here. Silk's uniform is really nice. It helps to keep her webbing up at all times. So basically you can perpetually keep the enemy webbed. So that's really nice for like Shadowlands and stuff like that. Cho's new uniform is definitely going to be a must-buy as well if you're going to be using Cho at all. The super armor and all defense is nice, but it's mainly the change to his 5th skill here that makes the uniform pretty amazing. And basically it's going to reduce all damage by 35%, increases his attack, his all defense, his all speed. It pumps up everything for him and makes him a monster for basically for when that skill is activated. He's going to crank out massive DPS, and it just reduces the damage he takes by quite a bit. So it makes him really tanky, but he still dies pretty fast in World Boss, so you do still have to be careful. But in Shadowlands, it just makes him like a short-term nuke, and you can just kind of take out the whole team very quickly. And then we have Kamala Khan right here, which is another standout uniform. This uniform is really nice. So it gives her all speed by 10% and increases her HP, which is something to take note of because it does change her typing to speed. So she will actually lose HP from going from combat to speed, but because of that HP boost, she pretty much retains that, and I think she even comes out with a little extra HP on top of it. But then you have right here the skill change, which gives her a all attack, all defense boost, which is really nice. And just the uniform bonus itself, the all attack, all defense, are really nice boosts to Kamala Khan, and she becomes really, really tanky with this uniform. So it's not, like I said, a must buy, but if you use Kamala Khan, I think that uniform is very powerful. Kind of the same thing with Moon Knight's uniform. Moon Knight's uniform is very powerful. If you're still using him for ABX, then of course this uniform is going to be a must-buy. Besides that, pretty much you would want to pick this up if you have Moon Knight at tier 2, because then you kind of get the most out of it, but it's mainly if you're going to be using Moon Knight for any particular game mode, because the uniform itself is really powerful with the extra damage that it gives, but it doesn't really do anything for survivability, so pretty much only if you need that extra damage boost. And then, of course, we get down to Sharon Rogers' new uniform, which is pretty amazing. I mean, this uniform gives her this change to her 5th skill for that vortex effect, which is extremely powerful in all game modes just because of the damage that it does and the amount of pull that it has. It can keep enemies stunned for so long, and it's really, really strong in PvP especially. So this uniform is it's going to be a must buy. I mean, if you have Sharon Rogers tier 1 or tier 2, she's going to benefit from this uniform because it just gives her even more DPS on top of what she already had, which is insane to begin with. So definitely a very powerful uniform as well, and that one I would say is a must buy. Let's see, besides that, Squirrel Girl's uniform is decent. I mean, it's really nice to get that damage proc, and of course the stun for the skill change is really nice. So if you're going to be using Squirrel Girl, I'd highly recommend this uniform. And with Squirrel Girl actually being surprisingly good in PvP for like Alliance Conquest for AI controlled, she's actually really useful. So having this uniform isn't really a bad thing as well, if you even if you don't use her too much, because she can be a very powerful character for PvP game modes. Alright, and then the last one that I have on this list is the Gwenpool uniform, which again I think is a very powerful uniform just because of the amount of healing that it gives her from the uniform. So definitely I would say this is a strong recommendation, almost a must buy if you use Gwenpool a lot, but you know you can do without it. So it's mainly one of those things is if you want to use her in PvP, yes, this uniform is going to be really nice because it's going to help her healing as long as you're not fighting, of course, someone that'll like one-shot her. She can pretty much heal up really fast. I've used her in timeline battle with this uniform on, and it really increases her survivability. It makes world boss just that much easier because she heals up so fast with this uniform now. Alright, so that's kind of the uniforms that I have. Let's go ahead and take a look at the uniforms here that are on sale that I have not picked up yet, and see if any of these really stick out to me. So I am going to be buying a few of these today. So first off, of course, is the new Captain America uniform. So I am going to be picking up this uniform today, and I think this, of course, is the best out of his uniforms, just because for the uniform bonus here, the all damage immunity that it gets is on a 7-second cooldown, as opposed to over here being on a 20-second cooldown. So that just gives him a lot more time where he's going to be immune to damage. It just makes him that much harder to kill. And of course you have the iframes on his skills, which are really nice as well. And then yeah, you have the damage immunity here on shield throw. So just it makes him really hard to deal with in PvP situations. And then for Shadowlands and World Boss, he is a really tanky character as well. And that is at tier 1 or tier 2. It makes him very powerful. So let's go ahead and pick this one up. Alright, there we go. So we got that uniform. And now let's take a look at some more of these. Let's see here. So, not too many other uniforms really stand out to me. Of course, there's some for utility purposes that are nice. Of course, like Star-Lord's new uniform, you want to do that for the leadership, but that's pretty much the only thing you're going to be using it for. I wouldn't mind getting Luke Cage's uniform just because Luke Cage is really good in PvP once you get him to tier 2, so the uniform would be nice for that, and it is nice to get that guard break, and of course the increase for duration on his skill is really nice, and reduce of cooldown. But again, that's for PvP. Besides that, some other uniforms maybe is the Black Bolt's new uniform, just because it increases his DPS, and then this skill change right here gives him more AoE. But again, not must buy really. It is a nice uniform though. What else we got going on here? Yeah, that's pretty much all the uniforms that really stand out to me. So let's go ahead and get the other uniforms that I was thinking of buying today, which is going to be Yellow Jacket's uniform. So I do want to pick this one up because I do have Yellow Jacket at tier 2 now, and I feel like he kind of deserves the uniform. I brought him up to tier 2, so I should give him everything, not just stop there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this uniform for him. And the uniform does increase his damage by quite a bit. Of course, this is again superhero types, which is really nice actually for Shadowlands. Not really going to help out too much in World Boss, but this skill change is also really nice because it gives him a lot more AoE. So when you're doing those villain stages or any wave modes or anything where they summon all of those extra adds, this skill is really nice for dealing with them. So the uniform itself is really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. There we go. Alright, and then there was one more uniform that I was looking at. Wonder if you guys can guess what it is. And it's actually Crystal's uniform, just because I really like Crystal. I don't think she needs this uniform because she's already really good as is, but it's just, it makes the animations of the two skills really cool, just with all of those cyclones spinning around everywhere. It's kind of like Storm, of course, reminds me of that. It's probably kind of why the uniform came out a little bit before Storm, is they were probably working on those kind of animations and stuff. But it doesn't really give her any more survivability, but it does increase her AoE, and it does increase the amount of crowd control that she can do with the uniform. So this is one that I'm going to be picking up as well. Boom, there we go. Alright, so those were the uniforms that I was going to pick up today. Of course, there's a few others that caught my eye, but I don't really want to spend any more crystals with the upcoming Sinister 6 update. I kind of want to save my remaining crystals for something in that update. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the uniforms that I wanted to go over. Of course, if I missed any, or if you guys think that there are some uniforms that I didn't mention that are really good or really change the character to increase their effectiveness in the game modes, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it helped in deciding if you were going to pick up any of these uniforms or not for yourself, or if you were on the fence about certain uniforms, or if there was just you had enough for one uniform, you didn't really know what you want to pick up. Hopefully some of my suggestions helped you in deciding which uniform you were going to pick up. And yeah, that's going to be it, so I will catch you in the next one.